The Rated R superstar Adam Copeland has changed his name in AEW to a really stupid name. Really dumb name. What is he thinking? Let's get to it. Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, has a new AEW ring name and fans are divided. This is from Vice.com. Adam Copeland is officially no longer in AEW, at least by that name. From now on, Copeland will go by Cope, or Rated R Superstar Cope. AEW unveiled the change on AEW Dynamite Fight for the Fallen. Copeland teamed with FTR against the two-thirds of the Trios champions Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. They're the Trios champions? Okay. Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli and a Death Riders member Wheeler Yuta. The group debuted at AEW World's End when Copeland returned from his fractured tibia. So yeah, Adam Copeland will just be going by Cope. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anyone out there that thinks this is a good name change? Is there anybody out there watching this that is like, yeah, awesome, Cope. Yeah, I love it. Good job, Edge. I love this new name, Cope. Or is everyone else, listen, the title of this art, it says it's the fans are divided. So that means there must be some fans out there that think it's a good name, Cope. I don't think it's a good name at all. I think it's a stupid name, Cope. Why would you change your name to that? I don't know if it would have been stupider for him to just change his name to just Adam or Land. Why doesn't he just change it to Land? But Cope, not good. The changes left fans very divided. Somebody in AEW needs to be that's a terrible idea person. Edge/Adam Copeland, now just going by Cope, is an absolutely dreadful name change, one Blue Sky user wrote. Wow, a user in Blue Sky even noted that. I mean, if someone from Blue Sky is saying this is dumb, it's probably dumb. How is this dividing fans? Is there maybe one or two fans out there that think this is great, like one or two? The transition began when he was still TNT champion, hosting the Cope Open segments. Ideally, anyone could challenge him for the title, which produced shocking moments, like the return of Matt Cardona. In prior interview with Renee Paquette, he explained that his goal was to eventually go by Cope. According to the wrestling veteran, it flows a lot better. So that's his thinking, that it flows a lot better. I mean, I guess it does. I guess that's easier to say than Adam Copeland. Yeah, Cope is easier and flows better than Adam Copeland. But Cope? I totally agree with that Blue Sky user. Somebody in AEW needs to be that's a terrible idea person. While I don't love the name Cope, there are two established Adams in the AEW main event scene. I get Adam Copeland being like, nah, I'll just be Cope, wrote another. Those aren't even really defenses. Those aren't like, oh, I love the name, it sounds great. It's just justifying it. Like, okay, well, there's already two Adams already, so I guess Cope, yeah, sure. But I don't see anyone loving this. According to Dax Harwood, that's FTR Bald, right? According to Dax Harwood, they wanted to get the gang together well before Copeland arrived in AEW. This with Adam, I think it's very different. Adam lives 7 minutes from my house. His daughters are friends with my daughters, Harwood told WrestleZone. Me, Adam, and Cash have been friends for well over 10 years. We have a wrestling school together. We call and talk to each other every single day. And we're very like-minded, even outside the business. But in wrestling, this was our first love, and I'll never forget that. And I'm sure they won't either. So we're very, very like-minded inside the ring, inside the business, but also outside. I know it's going to be a hell of a ride. The big reason why this is ridiculous and why everyone's going to rip and roast this name change to death is because Cope, that's what you tell someone who's like coping. Oh, this is just Cope. Like when you're making fun of someone online who's like defending something that most could agree on is a bad idea or not a good idea. And they go, well, that's just Cope, or he's on copium. And well, Edge changing his name to Cope. I mean, AEW fans already get a lot of flack, and they're already like being accused of coping with a lot when it comes to AEW. Like, oh, the ratings were down this week. Well, that's because the basketball game was on, or that's because it was 4th of July, or it was because it was cold outside, or whatever reason they think of to justify why the ratings are down. To which we say, well, that just sounds like cope, brother. It sounds like you're just on copium. You know, All In drew way less in Wembley Stadium than last year. Well, that's just because of the time change, or that's just because John Moxley wore new gear, or, you know, whatever lame excuse they think of. And it's like, that just sounds like cope. So I guess Adam Copeland just wants to relate to the rest of the AEW fans, because the AEW fans have to cope all the time. They're constantly coping. So listen, I guess I give him credit. Edge was like, you know what? I'm going to be the AEW everyman, okay? Just like how they have to cope every single day, I will represent them. I will change my name to Cope. So that way I will represent every single AEW fan. They have to cope every single day being a fan of AEW. I've said it before in one of my last videos about AEW. It seems like everybody that goes to AEW just becomes stupid. And this is just another one of those stupid decisions. There really does need to be someone in the back that just says, you know what? Nah, you are not changing your name to Cope. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think this is a good idea? Am I out of touch here? Is Cope a great name choice? Or do you agree with me and think this is lame AF? Or are you an AEW fan that's going to cope in the comments yourself? Sound off in the comments below. Smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy content like this, you'll really be helping me out a lot. And if you do enjoy content like this, I got a whole bunch more goodies for you on the screen to click away and enjoy.